A lunatic cult is moving into Farmington, New Mexico. The cult are called Truth, Honor and Integrity, THI. THI cult are about to move thousands of group members onto plots of private land in Farmington. They intend to create a cult village called TPC, the People's Club Village. The narcissistic cult leader Thomas Williams is pushing his cult to sell their family homes and purchase plots of Farmington land through him. A message for the people of Farmington. This cult are a bunch of lunatics that believe in an alien council that protects them and they receive mind downloads from them. This cult village will devalue your homes and businesses. They will walk around your town recruiting your friends and family members. This cult currently have 5,000 plus members and many of them will move into these Farmington TPC villages. Also, Thomas Williams is a scammer and associated with other scammer groups. He has promoted a birth certificate scam and made thousands of dollars in the process. Please listen the following clips from Thomas Williams's THI show and some of screenshots from his cult members towards the end of this video. Look at our other videos for more in-depth evidence on their past madness and money scams.
As if I haven't got a lot of time. I'm also working on my own rather detailed, multifaceted project, which will be along the guidelines of the People's Club Village. Now, once I get the draft of it out of my head and down on some paper, I will then require some input on various aspects contained within the initial village, which will then quickly develop into several others. I've been busy with another project this past month or so, but was waiting until the March Madness or the potentials of it to pass before launching into it. Now, much research has been done, and I'm now seriously looking into perhaps launching a community gathering for THI members.
This is definitely not a cult.
In essence, it becomes the starting point of a THI TPC community, with the former dropping out, and it'll be a TPC community, not exactly the village, but maybe that will come later. Now, the details of where for now will remain closed, but several members are considering moving to one location or region so we can be with each other and work together as a team. Now, I've located an estate that is around the Four Corners region, and it's a nice site. It's got a nice energy vibe to it. The scenery is really spectacular. And whilst it's a bit ruralish, it is close enough to a major town and airport for access and groceries. Now, all the homes on there currently have manufactured homes and are priced between $80,000 and $150,000 if purchasing an existing home, although others can be more expensive depending on what you require. Now, recently I received some settlement funds from my dad's estate, and I'm now looking into purchasing a home that's just half a mile to 3/4 of a mile on that estate, and that was going to house 3 THI members living together, but one pulled out and the other 2 have agreed to go ahead. Now, they will be renting for me with that home, and the rent will be cheaper than anywhere else, trust me. But this is about members coming together and building the community. Now, what I also am looking at is I have 2 low-income homes in Florida that I bought as part of my fixer-upper business in 2007. And if I sell one of those homes in Florida after July, then I have the option of purchasing 1 or 2 more plots and homes on finance to then house more members on that estate should people wish to rent. But that will be further down the line towards the end of the year. Now, one of those homes will be for me to move to that region also. But either way, I'm only 1 hour away or so from that region for any meetings, etc. in the meantime. And if other members wish to purchase lots and homes on that estate, they would all be welcome. You know, the area is not prone to hurricanes or tornadoes. It doesn't have extreme heat or cold. It doesn't have excessive winds or excess snow either. So what I'm looking at is this to become the launching pad for the TPC community. And the object is to buy up as many of the homes as they become available, all the plots of land, and the whole estate to become the village. Or we can encourage other homeowners on the estate to become part of the TPC. Now, there are single family homes in the region for those not wishing to be in a manufactured home in the village, and they are reasonably priced within the whole region. Now, one of the things we'll be looking at once we establish the base is we're looking into applying for grants for rural land areas that is available in the region. As a non-profit, the TPC, we can apply for them rural land grants. We can then take over the land and build on them. Now, there is a commercial plot at the end of the estate available for $50,000 for 25 acres, which is commercial. And again, we can look into getting grants for that as part of the non-profit and have a TPC shopping mall and possibly with a charter school. Now, all members are welcome to come and live with us in the village. Like I said, the scenery is really nice to look at, and there's plenty of available plots to take over. It's very nice. It's got a nice energy vibe to it, which is why when I went looking, I thought, there's not many houses on this you can see for yourself. And it's far enough away from the town, but close enough to go to the shops. And I'm thinking we can turn this into the TPC village. And the object is to have several of these centres strategically placed around the country eventually. But this is an opportunity for us all to come together. We can go down the grant route. We can get a lot of grants by being a non-profit. And this is us being the change. A change for us, a change for each other, and a change for the bigger picture also. And there's a saying in a movie, build it and they will come. Perhaps that's what we should all be doing.
Hi all and welcome to this week's show. Right, let's have an update on the village, shall we? A sixth member or group of members from THI is committed to the land purchase contract, and that has been done this week as momentum on that project grows. Another member outside of those six is moving to the town this week with a view to also joining the village maybe early next year or late this year. So that will be 7 groups of THI people in the town. We will be meeting, or I will anyway, more members soon at the village, one tomorrow, maybe Saturday, with the desire to move, and 2 other members are selling their homes currently and then moving to the village as well. Good stuff. Right, this is to the shy, reticent and fear-based members who have yet to step forward for the TPC video. And it's time to put yourself on a path of change of the self and join the TPC promotional video presentation and make us all proud. Don't worry about appearance or anything else. This is not a professional, glossy, cheesy video that everyone else seems to do. It will be done by grassroots people who are not professionals. It's not meant to be a professional video. Hi all and welcome to this week's show. A fairly serene opening song of what will follow will be nothing like it. It will be explosive. It will be the usual hard hitting between the eyes. and sprinklings of intel all over the show. Well, first we want to do a high five to the TPC Village. This week I went down and paid a check, and we now have 5 members committed to the village. So with at least 5 others, maybe 10 others to follow. So that's good stuff. Hi all, and welcome to the Truth, Honour and Integrity show. The day you've all been waiting for. So we've got a fairly packed show again tonight. Some real interesting pieces and lots of dot connecting after pondering and some Q&A. All in the one show. But first, I am pleased to announce the first land purchase of the village is now completed as of today. And we are making steady progress with the TPC with new ideas, new plans, and now extra sharing amongst members. There is 3 other land deals under contract with 3 other groups of people that are pondering, and 4 others who are considering moving, also with many more requesting certain information. But with that comes the kickback of people who wish to destroy any good work being done by the people. And what this proves is we are right over the target. So let's double our efforts to build our way and leave them behind. They have and will become immersed in the old world, and there they will always reside. Promise lives within you now. And that's something that we all should look at about going inside and promising ourselves we will all improve. Now, the opening to tonight's show, like I said, it's fairly packed. And there has been further work undertaken this week and movement on the TPC Village. And I had 8 THI members to meet up with this weekend, and we all had a wonderful time and had a lot of fun as well. And they were taken to the 2 sites, and they are committed to the original one, but we're still working on the second one for other people to be involved in. And yet again, everyone got on really well together. And it's a joy to watch and also engage with. Now, this is no longer a promise or a pipe dream. The village is now unfolding and is happening. As of today, 4 land lots are now under contract. One of them closes next week, and I have 2 checks from 2 separate groups of people to have 2 more land lots under contract, possibly by next week's show. I collected an awful lot of checks for the title company, and I considered changing my name by deed poll this week, as it would have been quite richer. But the warmth and generosity shown recently to myself and other members is heartening to see and experience. Everyone wishing to share and help each other out, and I thank you all for that. Some members' generosity and desire to help where they can went to extraordinary lengths this past week. You know who you are, and again, I thank you for that. Now, we are looking into creating a TPC business that will in part be connected to the village and on a wider scale later, and I'll have more details at a later date on that. Now, one of the members of the village is in the process of buying a business in the Farmington area that may be able to accommodate some part-time employment for those who are in the village. The grant team is working hard to find out what grants are available to the TPC that we can apply for, and that will benefit the members of the village and also the wider TPC group. Now, in what is a rarity for this show, but I will mention the financial support of myself and also the TPC. And I want to thank all who give generously, some very generously, in both causes. But this is my job, and the donations to me are what keep me going and working on behalf of us all. So if you can give whatever you can afford, either via my Patreon or PayPal, then I will be forever grateful. Now the links are on thinkdifferent.thepeoplesclub.org or the show posts on Facebook and MeWe. Now the TPC funds could do with more participants. We have lots of members and even more listeners, and yet whilst ever grateful to those who do contribute, the actual number of participants in the TPC funds are very low, around 140. And I'm asking for those who haven't contributed to donate what you can to the TPC as well, so we can do and help more. And this is, after all, for all of our benefit. And there's one thing I would like to say of how proud I am of our communal gatherings, even in this early stage, as members have all got along with each other and are focusing on the tasks at hand. Now, I'm sorry I haven't been able to engage as much as I would have liked, but it is fantastic to see you are all pushing on regardless. And this is the way forward for us all, and I'm pleased that our group is retaining its focus and desire to make this a success for us all. We are the new version of NATO. Nice actions, talk openly. Others promise. We do. Hi and welcome to the Truth, Honour and Integrity Show, the show that tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, and to think and act different. In what has been a fairly breathless week for myself, and it's the final show of this month of what has been a fairly whirlwind epic of a month for THI, TPC, and also in my private life. It's been a busy month for me, and an even busier time expected next month also. And I have an update on the land and the homes in the village. 3 of the 6 land deals are now officially closed, with the remaining 3 being signed off on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday of next week. 2 of the homes for the land is now closed, and so now things are starting to take shape for an exciting venture. But this, of course... Hi and welcome to the Truth, Honour and Integrity Show, the show that tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, and to think and act different. In what has been a fairly breathless week for myself, and it's the final show of this month of what has been a fairly whirlwind epic of a month for THI, TPC, and also in my private life. It's been a busy month for me, and an even busier time expected next month also. And I have an update on the land and the homes in the village. 3 of the 6 land deals are now officially closed, with the remaining 3 being signed off on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday of next week. 2 of the homes for the land is now closed, and so now things are starting to take shape for an exciting venture. But this, of course, attracted more attention from others in my town, and they decided to interfere in my private life again. And that's okay. I will overcome that in the same way I always have. 2 underground stations, which became 3, of rogue elements in the others were destroyed over the weekend. 1 contained an array of computers that was interfering in a variety of ways, and they were dealt with. Several Vril frequency interference machines operating from below the ground were also deleted globally. The Vril reptilian group lost many of their group also for interference with humanity and ignoring the peace treaty. The Vril group in particular are a major problem currently that we've been dealing with recently, with their frequency-based machines causing much havoc and disruption, particularly in the field of harvesting energy from selected groups. Work is underway to address those issues. There was a plan of theirs to collect tens of thousands of people and bring them to a certain region in America, give them jobs and funding so they can be used as batteries. Some people have a much higher frequency or essence they desire. That was prevented. Next piece. The gist of those below ground machines was to create a frequency that lowered the vibration of people on the planet, particularly certain groups who have turned their light frequency beacon on. Now, people may remember I did a piece that kind of disturbed some, asking was the planet and the planetary being sick? And I asked why so many species who came here all ended up being vampiric, violent, divisive, and or chaos based, and I questioned whether grounding was a good thing, which again people didn't resonate too well with. Those machines are your answer to that question. They are, or in some cases were, infecting the ground with negative frequencies. And so that is another of their New Age based ideology of being barefooted on the earth has now come into question at this point. The old acupuncture was done in the feet for a reason. It has pressure points that goes to all parts of the body, and so they are receptors in one way. There's also what is called foot detox pads that draws out all of the toxins via the feet. But if it draws out from within, it also proves it can draw in from without. You understand where I'm going? For those that look for excuses for the masses, this technology is not it. For those who did their work and elevated their frequency, it becomes a mild to medium irritant. Those that haven't sink lower in vibration and frequency. You save you and two worlds all in one piece. And I will leave it up to you all to decide whether grounding is a good thing anymore. It's your choice. I just provide the information. But those machines below were penetrating from below and reducing the frequency.
Tonight we will have three people, very human voices, who will be speaking, and in the background are the council people, which you will hear but not understand their language. That language will then be translated into what we would understand in English. So I'll be referring to the people I'll be speaking to as M, who will do some of the translating, A, who also will partially translate and speak, and K. So they'll be the three people who will be answering most of the questions and giving us some insight of what's going on. But you will likely also hear the beings and people in the background of the council. So we welcome them to the Truth, Honour and Integrity show. It's a great honour for us all, and hopefully we have got them all online and we can start off. The general purpose or the directives of the council.
You'd like me to answer the directives of the council, the Universal Council, or
yes, whichever person wants to answer, that's fine.
I'll let the council answer that one.
Sorry, one moment.
That's okay. So,
Okay, they said, hello again, brother. We are a governing board of the universe comprised of members from various dimensions enforcing universal law. They describe themselves kind of like, so the UPU would be like their enforcement agency, where the council is more of like, maybe like the Supreme Court justices. And they're comprised of members from, various dimensions. They're not all from the same dimension.
okay. So, what brought them here? What is their mission here, both on and for Earth currently?
May I just add one more thing to that?
Yes,
Yeah,
go
please.
ahead.
Before, under the old treaty, as it existed, we had basically a dictatorship here in the galaxy. So this has existed a long time. We were not the only planet with life back at this time. So we did have a galactic council, and the galactic council would have been our mediator directly to the Universal Council. So the UPU did exist here as an enforcement unit, basically enforcing the treaty, and they would take direction from the Galactic Council. The Galactic Council, although it was supposed to be a little bit more democratic, where all forms of life of the galaxy were represented, it was not. It was represented predominantly and dominated by the Draco until the Universal Council stepped in. I think, Thomas, I remember listening to one of your shows, and Shane mentioned something about everybody going to court.
Yes.
So when the Draco went to court, they went to court in front of the Universal Council for violations. And that's when their role was supposed to change. And this is what Megan was talking about when she was talking about the the translation of they did step in a couple of years ago, and that was that point when court came in.